This video is called Sabotaging the Black Man, especially the tall Sun Temple martial artist black man's image and woman's taste. Well, first let's establish the obvious. Black people are grouped into bad areas for a lot of reasons. Institutional racism, gentrification, social stigma, being made to feel awkward and uncomfortable. I mean, how many of you would want to move into a neighborhood where you would feel awkward and uncomfortable and the women wouldn't be showing you love and your kids would be, picked on and so on, right? Obviously, this is going to cause certain trends in society. So if there's something wrong in an area, the general rule of thumb is there's something more wrong where the black man lives. Now, some of you are going to play stupid and say, this is America, racism is over. Some of you are going to say, well, I'm a white supremacist and, if you don't like it, compare yourself to Africa. Go back there, compare yourself to it. Let's find some place where we do black people worse and let's compare it to that place. And let's pretend that neocolonialism and the comprador elite, internationalism, globalism doesn't exist. Let's pretend that, the World Bank has no effect, there's no economic hitman, and so on and so forth, right? Fucking stupid, right? But these are the arguments we're faced with all the time. Women are not compassionate and understanding when it comes to things related to image, generally speaking, unless you're from their race at times, right? This is one of the exceptions. And sometimes, even less often than that, is if you're from the same political party. If you're pushing the liberal line hella tough and you're, they'll be a little bit more understanding, try to help you get your game up. Okay, this is unfair. You shouldn't have to be a controlled opposition bitch to get compassion or for someone to be understanding when they relate to you and deal with you, especially when it matters most when it comes to reproduction. I'll tell you, one thing that throws someone off quicker than anything else is women. You get your heart broken, you get played out in front of women, etc. It will throw you off. It'll be hard for you to focus and do good in school. It'll be hard for you to focus on your work and to put your focus where it matters. Okay? Speech patterns. If I say, man, these motherfuckers doing me dirty, man, I'm more likely to get a receptive audience because it's going to be other black people who are upholding the same appalling kind of social norms, ebonics, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Ebonics, right? Bitch shit. Okay? If I start talking like a civilized person, well, I'm trying to get to the underlying cause here and ascertain the truth. Everyone's going to be looking at me like, what the fuck? He talks like a white guy. And the white people are like, man, you ain't one of us. This is the kind of attitude you're going to get whether anyone wants to admit it or not. They say the proper form to make more honest, down-to-earth complaints is to be a comedian. The Apollo or something. The Apollo does not have a strong effect on politics. When people make jokes about Hollywood guys plugging little kids, they don't stop because Cat Williams pointed it out. So they don't allow us to have the proper form. And if we start trying to organize ourselves in some kind of military or martial arts manner, like the Black Panthers, right? The Leopard Society, the Black Panthers. In comes the tactical people, right? They say, you are the N-word because it means no gear. It's a play on words, right? Interchangeable vowels. You are a so-and-so, a nigger, because you have no gear. You don't have the technology to compete with us. You're an ignorant person, and as a result, you don't have the technology to vie for power and to try to affect social norms and culture because you don't have the technology. You have no gear. Now let's talk about clothes. How many of you have found the reason, have deduced the truth when it comes to why Big and Tall exists? Why do we have a store called Big and Tall? Well, they say, well, because big people and tall people are having trouble finding their sizes. In a country where we have the highest obesity rate, last time I checked, the most overweight people, and you don't think that these companies should, accommodate them? Should sell clothes that fit them? In a place where 1 in 5 adult men are over 6 feet tall? You don't think they should sell these sizes in these stores? What happens when you only have one store for big and tall people, for tall people in this case, people like me? Can we match like this, like everyone else, like the short guy who comes out of a car that is more suited for him, has leg room with him considered, not me? What is a clown car? Does it not play you out? Think about it. It's harder for me to match. And are women going to consider that, or are they going to play stupid mainstream denial as a result of social norms, wherever they may come from, to be diplomatic? They're going to play stupid. Oh, he doesn't know how to dress. I don't know how to dress. Or these pussies don't know how to fucking sell clothes. Or these pussies are discriminating against the guy who's tall, dark, and handsome. This is negative evolution. Now, I'm not saying someone who's short is inferior, but I'm saying one of the variations of the superior evolved man is the tall man. And if you're a jealous, whiny, one-sided, blinder-on having, rich midget mini-me motherfucker, you are going to do little bitch shit and little bitch fraternities, gender-neutral organizations from the right and left. The Statue of Liberty, they don't have a man there, and women tend to be shorter than men in popular culture. So if you favor the bitch perspective, the gender-neutral perspective, the emasculate the black, tall, Narmer martial artist, Sun Temple, who laid the foundation for Egypt perspective, you are going to side with the little bitches. That's why it's called being a little bitch versus manning up and walking tall. That's why it's called a pipsqueak, a runt, a shrimp. We don't assign these words for people who are tall, with heart. And it's easier to control a bunch of pipsqueak, conformist cowards who are turning a blind eye because they're bitches and it works in their favor. You're getting rid of the best competition, the most competitive group of people when it comes to women dating by getting them to dress like a bitch. You might have a cool little sweater and some fucking jeans and some short, for me, having a sweater that matches my shoes and some regular jeans that fit properly makes me feel hella smooth. Oh man, I'm looking good today just because I match. That's the little guy's bad day. He has the whole headphones, he has the whole fit and everything. Boom, he has a little scarf or whatever. He's on point times 10. You know what I'm saying? Looking hella smooth. Got me looking like, the fucking Toys R Us giraffe, hella silly and tall. Oh, I don't have, trying to play us out. Then they drug motherfuckers like me too, so we're uncoordinated. Oh, it's all uncoordinated, tall. Oh. And that blurs the line, right? It says this guy is a mutation and not the proper direction of human evolution. And this goes back to the Neanderthal, the Homo sapien, and whatever that long-nosed kind of primitive man was. I'll put in the comments if I give a shit. I probably don't. And this is the variations you get, right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. You kind of get this Neanderthal, Japheth, kind of this kind of primitive ape-looking Homo sapien, which, when mixed with other groups of people, started to form more attractive, more coordinated shapes. Okay, perhaps. So again, the tall, dark, and handsome, right? The most stigmatized. Now you say, well, what about the basketball players? What about them? When you're a millionaire, you can have tailors. It's easier for you to shop. I'm not saying this clothes doesn't exist out there. I'm saying it's so hard for people like me to get them that they get played out. If you have a fucking tailor, you have a public relations person, you're popular and you have bad bitches helping you out, bad bitches helping you shop, versus you're a regular tall guy and you have trouble acquiring the kinds of apparel and clothes that you need to attract a woman who's concerned with her image. She's a conformist bitch, not because she isn't concerned with her image, because she is I-mage, the eye of the mage. Okay? The sage, backwards, E-gas. They fume and gas people. Gas chamber, pepper spray, chemtrails if they're real to be diplomatic. Poison gas and so on, right? Primitive warriors, primitive bitches really used to light fires and throw things in them that caused people to be sick. And the fumes would go on the enemy camp and they'd be sick. This was way before World War I. World War I wasn't the first time people said, hey, we can gas people and mess up their breathing and make them sick and then we can go in there later and kill them. It's a no-brainer. What do you think Prometheus is stealing fire from the gods? What are the applications of fires? You burn shit down, and then people die of what? Asphyxiation or whatever it's called, respiratory problems and so on. Okay, imagine if you say, hey, well, depending on what's in the fire, how long does it take someone to figure that out? Especially some pesky mini-me bitch. They can't go toe-to-toe with the top martial artists in ancient combat because I would cut out their hearts. I would shish kebab them. Talk about the Holy Spirit. I would shish kebab them. You see 5, 6 mini-me's on my spear. I turn it upside down and say, this is the proof I fucking killed them. I shish kebabbed them. I shish kebabbed them. I shish them. And then I'm going to go to their fire and I'm going to cook them. I'm going to cook them and feed them to my pets. Fuck those shrimps. Now, I'm not saying all short people are bad, but you start acting like little bitches and pretend that you're a better martial artist than I am, you're going to get played out like a bitch. Just like a big ogre. You're a dumb, big football lineman ogre, and you're going to pretend you're the top martial artist because you can tackle a motherfucker and pulverize him, and pretend like in ancient combat I wouldn't outmaneuver you and slice you open. You're getting played out like a bitch. You're a big bitch with no excuse. The more you come off as a base heavy, oh, I'm a man, and the more you come off as an aggressive man, the more of a bitch you are. It's like all that masculinity, all that masculine flesh, and you're a big sissy hippo? Come on. Anyway, so we look at what celebrities are the most sexy, right? Let's talk about black celebrities. How many times you come across people, back in the day, Tyson Beck or whatever, the polo model? How many women were like, oh, he's so fine, They probably thought he was fine, but they didn't fixate on him. Image, focus, mindfulness. He's running. You must be tired because you've been running through my dreams all day or running through my mind all day, right? In the mind. You ever heard that kind of pickup line? Give you a second to catch up. Okay, it's Tupac Shakur. It's Usher. It's these little guys. It's these little guys. Every once in a while, you have a tall guy trying to be like a little guy like Chris Brown, right? He's kind of dressed in tight jeans and stuff. He has his tailor. He's kind of acting like a little guy would act. He's like a tall little guy. Think about it. As opposed to a man walking tall in his masculine, as his masculine self. Either big and tall, the bull of Heliopolis, or tall and athletic, okay? Now, do I need to really explain? I know people act like bitches. There's a difference between a celebrity who has tailors and has a whole public relations campaign, who can't afford to look bad in public, who goes out of his way to emphasize that, and the guy who's kind of down on his luck, focusing on buying weed, alcohol, right? The more you make him depressed, the more he's going to turn to substance abuse. It's going to cost him money. He'll have less money to buy these things, and they're less available to him. How does this play out? You take away a little bit here, right? One cookie. Every kid takes a little cookie from the cookie jar. You have nothing left. And all these bitches have more cookies in their jars, and the bitches say, I want a cookie, and go to them. All right. So again, now let's talk about price, okay? $30 for these Levi jeans for people who are, 5'5", 5'6". You go to big and tall, $100, okay? $7 if you're a kid, right? So the smaller you are, the closer you are to a kid size, the cheaper your clothes are. All right, so that pretty much covers it for now. And they say, well, you're banging on us. Yes, I'm banging on you. Yellow team. I'm not a gang, remember? The yellow team, okay? This is the Sun Temple. Now, the black doesn't represent my point of view, mind you. I wanted to buy a yellow bandana. They're hard to find. And, lo and behold, this one, I have trouble seeing the screen, right? So what happens when you add, we fumed him, and now he has photophobia and migraines and stuff. He has trouble seeing the screen. Now he has even more trouble matching because there's nuances between this yellow and this yellow. Right? And more trouble. Match the shoes to the jeans, to the shirt, to the hat, to the glasses. And by the time you factor everything in, yes, this guy has problems. He ends up looking like some goofy, tall, weird, lanky, fucking, goofy giraffe, goofy, ever seen that cartoon where they're playing golf with a kind of flamingo and his head's like, you look like a goofy flamingo. A bitch who's fixated on image and, oh, I can't bring him around. He doesn't even know how to dress. He doesn't know how to act. Because you've been targeted because of this ancient reproduction war, and women don't have the heart to see what is truly within you. These are the same bitches who are the biggest, most outspoken critics of people saying, I need a woman who's attractive. Again, war shape. Mind, body, and soul. If she's from the temple that I'm from, she's going to be fixated. She's going to be focused on the things that I'm focused on. And yes, she's going to need to be attractive on the outside to be a suitable helper. She didn't carry her cross and you get sabotaged. I did. Thank you.